the shadows, I kept an eye on my target. Nam Yunsu is a wealthy man in his mid-20s. They say his wealth was mostly inherited, but I doubted that. I observed him socializing and enjoying a glass of wine with other guests. I silently pulled out my precious knife and anxiously awaited the ideal moment to strike. My boss wanted this guy. He reportedly worked with the Busan criminals, a mafia group, and was a major source of funding for them. He had to vanish, of course. Junsu was walking alone away from the party crowd and toward the doors leading to the balcony. His mistake. I followed him quietly and slipped through the doors before they closed behind him. He was standing there watching the rain when I silently approached him. Junsu turned around and kicked the knife out of my hand. A knife was already being held to my throat as I attempted to run and grab my knife. My anger flared up as soon as the attacker made a sking sound. Junsu ran away. In the underground world, I've never been defeated before. I wanted to fight, but the knife was too close to my neck. I could feel the cool metal on my skin. I was impressed you were able to get in, said a cold, expressionless voice that I was already very familiar with. Miss Kim YN. Flashes of my encounter with the Busan criminals flooded my mind. Every time I saw him, a mask covered his face always, but his dark brown eyes always managed to burn into my memory. He was my equal and most dangerous enemy. He was the only person who could hold off my attacks. Jungkook? I breathed. So you know who I am, he whispered into my ear, his voice coated with humor. You? Let me go, I growled. No, I don't think I will. He readjusted the knife against my neck, reminding me that he was still a threat. Come on, he continued. I would hate to damage this beautiful skin. Let me go, you devil! I cried, but still didn't move a muscle. Shh, he said quietly, glancing back at the party still going on in the house. Let's not attract attention, After placing his hand on the back of my neck, Jungkook pulled me into a room. What? Will you complete the task back here, away from your valuable guest? I growled. Are you going to kill me, Jungkook? Don't be too dramatic, please. I'm not really that disgusting. No, I simply want to talk. Now, don't do anything stupid. Moved the knife from my neck. He walked over to the big glass window. This is my favorite part. I have always loved the beauty of night, city lights and stars especially. I don't nearly get enough chances to enjoy it though. So I have to make do, I guess. I narrowed my eyes. What was he getting at? What was his plan? I slowly began to reach for my knife until I realized Junsu kicked it away back at the balcony. I glanced around for something I could use as he continued speaking. Night. Nothing is more beautiful than night beauty, wouldn't you think? he asked, glancing briefly back at me, causing me to freeze. He looked back at the window again. I rarely ever come across something that is more beautiful than night. Yet, Jungkook turned to face me and walked toward me. He towered over me. I'm not going to lose to him. Yet, here you are. I blinked in confusion and said, "Excuse me." He brought up his right hand and kissed my cheek lightly. I resisted the urge to cut off his hand, considering I had no knife. He ran his fingers through my long dark brown hair, letting the long strands fall through like sand. "From the first time I met you." Jungkook started quietly, not looking into my eyes but beyond them, as if he was peering into my soul. "I knew you were the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. I can see the beauty of night within you. Your beautiful hair, your skin pure and untouched, your eyes." Our eyes made contact, like the moonlight reflecting off of a lake in the forest. "You are the night beauty." "What are you playing at?" I hissed. My mind was in scatters, and my heart was beating furiously. Jungkook, the cold-hearted, ruthless mafia enemy of one of our most powerful enemies. What was he doing? He was most definitely planning something now. "Playing?" he repeated. He was so close now, barely 3 inches between us. "I'm not playing at anything. I'm just stating a fact." He leaned forward, grabbing my arm so I couldn't take a step back. His mouth trailed along my ear and his breath tickled my neck, causing goosebumps as he breathed. "So beautiful," he exhaled, and I willed myself to remain calm. I was stuck. He had my arm in his strong grip as well as a knife in his possession. I could try to run, but he could easily catch up to me. I quickly tried to come up with something, anything to get out of this mess. Then he leaned back and looked at me. I glared at him with all my strength, which would normally make the average man cringe in fear. "You stupid! You'll pay for this when I'm free." Jungkook made a clicking noise with his tongue. "That's just rude. My parents were perfectly present throughout my childhood. Well, mostly." He paused and then shook his head slightly. "However, you're not the one in a position to make demands." I just stared at him stubbornly, challenging him to make a mistake. He stepped back and said, "Let's make a deal." "What?" "This is definitely a trap. It's got to be." "I'll let you go if you give me one thing, just a little thing, and it won't even harm or cost you." "What thing?" I eyed him suspiciously. he said as he slowly leaned his head close to mine. A kiss, before stealing it anyway. The word stopped, and so did time itself. I forgot how to breathe as my mind short-circuited. He leaned back and smirked at my shocked expression. My mouth was still slightly open and my eyes were wide. A deal's a deal, Jungkook said, amused. You may go. I stood there a moment longer and then I blushed fiercely. My first kiss stolen by that idiot. I'll kill you, he chuckled as he started walking back to the party. After all, he'd been gone long enough. Surely someone must notice the absence of him. Probably not. Watch the light in your eyes fade. Sounds fun, he replied with a gleam in his eye. I'll enjoy our time together. Shut up! I'll make you beg and cry for mercy, I continued ranting. I said shut up. I will hunt you down until there is no place left for you to hide. You really want me that badly? Jungkook called back to me, greatly amused. Go to hell. Only with you, my love. I said shut up. So it's been 3 years since that day when he had stolen my first kiss. After that day, he called me, sent me SMS and emails for the request to meet him again. I don't know why I didn't reject his request. And then we met almost every day. I fell in love with him. I left my mafia group and joined the Busan criminals. We both worked together in different missions, became the most dangerous mafia partners. And today, he brings me the most beautiful place where you can see the real beauty of night. YN, I know that our relationship is a different way, but will you marry me? I can't go another day imagining us not being together, having our own family. Bear my kids, protect our family, help me grow into the man you need. Please, will you marry me? Jungkook asked, going on his knees. Yes, Jungkook, yes, of course, I screamed, jumping on him as he stood up. We shared a passionate kiss. His hands around my waist as he pulled me closer, goosebumps warming. every part of my body that he touched. You're the only person my heart truly wants.